I mean, I remember when the OES was.
Okay. Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love to all our global ambassadors. Really appreciate on this wonderful Thursday, January 30, second to last day of the month of January. So we are flying past the first day of the first month of the year already, and we are heading into the best month of the year, which is coming up next. All right, wonderful. Thank you all very much for joining us today here on Deep Dive Globally Changing Lives. And thank you here for joining us live and also on our varied social media platform. Thank you for joining us. And without any further ado, we are just going to go straight into our theme song, which is by Lerato Shadari, Queen Lerato Shadari, and that is our famous international recording and singing artist that has actually formulated this song, In It to Win It. And of course, with anything you're doing, you have to be in it to win it. And so, listen to the words of the tune and watch the video that is accompanying it because it has to do with what we are doing in on passive. In it to win it. Queen Lerato Shidari.
Your next stop is ONPASSIVE.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Queen Lorato Shadari. Stand clear of the closing door, please. And we are going to move right along with our next item on the program, which is our mindset. Mindset, very important, very vital to even your normal existence. And so, with the mindset, we have none other than our own Queen Jacqueline Warner, which of course is going to speak with us. She's an entrepreneur long, long, long before OnPassive even started. So it's not just because of OnPassive why she's an entrepreneur. She has been in that level long before OnPassive. She's an international speaker, um, and she's also a talk show host. She's a grandmother of about 9, a young little girl. Is a grandmother already. Don't know how she does that. But she's going to look at some dental things now. Dental health. Dental health. Things we can do for healthier gums and healthier teeth. So I'm not sure it's just about brushing your teeth and flossing. Hopefully, it's a little bit more than that. But hey, the expert is going to give us that information. And so, without any further ado, um, it is Queen Jacqueline Warner.
Dr. Derek, for that introduction. And thank you for allowing us to be on this amazing platform, Deep Dive, where we dive deep into the mindset. And like Dr. Derek said, and I just want to, before I go any further, let me say thank you to all the affiliates slash brand ambassadors. We have a lot to be grateful for, to be on this platform, to be part of ONPASSIVE. So we have to be so grateful and patient as the curtains open sooner or later. So we want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing us all together, and especially our CEO bringing us along on this amazing journey. So we have a lot to be grateful for. And thanks to all the leaders that keep us going and keep us abreast and help us to continue to grow and elevate in becoming the best version of ourselves. So thank you again. Thank you for your support and thank you for showing up, you know? So tonight, yes, the topic is going to be basically about dental health and how, and healthier gums and our oral, uh, how you say it. Our dental health plays such a major role in our system. And we might not think it, we might think, well, we don't really have to floss. Shoot, some people, we don't even have to brush our teeth. What is she talking about? you know. But yes, we do have to brush, and yes, we do have to floss. That's just some of the preventive measures so we don't end up with gum disease and bad breath and all the other things that comes with dental health. So tonight we're going to explore the many dimensions of health and the healing through a holistic lens. Okay. And I just want to clarify, this is just for your knowledge. I mean, if you have any major dental issues, it will be wise to check with your dental practitioner. Okay. And today we're going to be delving into an essential but often overlooked aspect of health, dental care. While we frequently emphasize that overall health begins in the gut, it is vital to understand that the journey to the gut health often starts in the mouth. And why? Because that's where everything enters. That's where our food, what we drink, you know, the toxins, of course, that's where it starts from. It starts from our mouth and then it travels. So poor oral health can lead to systemic health issues. So in this discussion, we will focus on gum disease, its signs, its effects, its actionable steps to enhance both oral and overall health. Now, understanding gum disease. Gum disease, also known as periodontitis, involves inflammation and infection of the gums and tissue supporting the teeth. It primarily develops due to poor diet and inadequate oral hygiene, which allow that sticky plaque or a film of bacteria to build up on our teeth. This plaque erodes enamel and it triggers gum disease. And you know what? The main one is gingivitis. That's just a milder form, which causes gum swelling and puffiness. If left untreated, it can progress to a periodontitis, leading to more severe damage. So you know, that's just a little bit to understand gum disease, and also it's giving you it's a visual imagination of what it actually looks like, and that way you can recognize it and know if there's an issue or a problem. Did you know approximately 50% of US adults have some form of gum disease or gingivitis, according to the CDC? Now, the signs and symptoms of gum disease. Recognizing gum disease early can help prevent its progression. Common symptoms include receding gums. That means your gums pull away from the teeth, it exposed more of the tooth surface. And you know what happens then? The bacteria starts building on the root of the teeth, destroying as it gets, as it progress. You get tenderness and bleeding. So gums may bleed during brushing or flossing. If you see those kind of signs or symptoms, that means there's tenderness of the gums, which are going to cause them to bleed if you irritate it, because they're already inflamed. They're already hurting without we adding to it. And then number 3, persistent bad breath. And that is chronic halitosis, or a strange taste in the mouth, can signal gum inflammation. Number 4, red and swollen gums. And we talk about that puffiness and the tenderness are telltale signs of gingivitis. Number 5, pain while chewing. While chewing your food, you might feel pain in your jaw or in your mouth. Well, this discomfort can indicate, again, advanced gum disease. That means it's getting worse. And number 6, tooth sensitivity and decay. You hear some people say, oh, my tooth is sensitive to hot or is sensitive to cold or even sugar. You get a little, that means thinning of the enamel due to the bacterial activity often leads to cavities and sensitivity. Now, the link between the gum disease and our overall health. Many people underestimate how oral health impacts the rest of the body. Gum disease associated with heart disease and stroke. And you might say, what that has to do with it? Gum disease increases the risk of cardiovascular condition by 2 to 3 times. Diabetes. You say, what diabetes have to do with my tooth? Inflammation from the gum disease can raise your blood glucose level, worsening the diabetes or contributing to its onset. Cognitive decline. Now, studies suggest a link between poor gum health and dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. Cancer. Certain cancers are correlated with gum disease. And weakening of your immunity. Gum disease can compromise the immune system, increasing susceptibility to infections. So, of course, inflamed gums often signal systemic inflammation. Bleeding gums, bad breath, and tooth decay act as a check engine light for your overall health, highlighting the need for attention and care. So, if you have any of these signs or symptoms, or know someone that has it, especially like when you're talking to someone, you can actually you look at their mouth. Most of the time, our eyes goes right there, and you can tell if there's a problem, and you'll say, "Oh, you have to go take care of that. That's something is wrong there." Or you might have friends that have bad breath. Don't be afraid to tell them. I know I had a friend that, yeah, I didn't want to come out and tell her exactly, but I told her, you know what, you can use some oil pulling, and then I follow up and say, did you try it out? And then I'm just going to keep on following up and see if it's getting better, because that way they'll get rid of the bacteria. Now there's 5 steps to healthier gums and teeth. Number 1, revamp your diet. Everything starts with diet, huh? We always talking about diet, diet, diet. And it just diet not mean going on a diet. It means the food that we eat, the processed food, the sugars, you know, fruits that are not good for us, especially the sugars, the soft drinks that we drink, especially Coca-Cola. It actually melts your teeth. If you have an old teeth at home, an old tooth at home, put it in a glass of Coca-Cola and watch it melt away. That's how powerful these sweet, high levels of sugar, acidic drinks does to our teeth. And then we're constantly going to the dentist. And a lot of people go to the dentist and their mouth still look a mess. That means there's something wrong. The fluoride, the fillings that we put in our mouth, which is mercury. Every time we eat, a gas is evaporates into our system continuously. Just think of all the time you're eating if you have fillings. They need to be removed, and they need to be removed by someone who knows what they're doing, because it can cause you harm. So what you eat significantly influence your oral health. Common dietary culprits include processed foods, sugary snacks, refined carbohydrates, for example, bread, pasta, and the list goes on. So now you got to swap these for whole nutrient-rich foods to support your gum and reduce inflammation. Number 2, quit smoking. Smoking reduces the oxygen level in the bloodstream, and it impairs the immune system, making it harder for your gums to heal. So quitting smoking can significantly enhance your body's ability to repair itself. Number 3, upgrade to a water pricks or a water flosser. That means consider replacing your traditional flossing with a water flosser. This tool uses pressurized water to clean between your teeth. That's where the bacteria hangs out. That's where it's able to um, decide what it's going to do, how it's going to attack your tooth. Waiting out for all the sugary stuff that you're going to eat. Boy, we're going to have a great time tonight. You know why? She didn't floss, and she didn't even brush her teeth. Guys, we're going to have a great time. And that's what the bacteria is actually saying. They have to be fed too. And if you want to feed something that's going to destroy us, then we don't need to floss and we don't need to brush. Just have the sugary stuff and let the bacteria have fun throughout the night while we sleep. Okay, so this tool uses pressurized water to clean between your teeth, effectively removing plaque and debris. It is like a car wash for your mouth and can reverse gingivitis when used consistently. And consistently tend to be a big word, because we got to be consistent in almost all aspects of our life. when we're taking care of our family, when we're going to work, when we are studying at school. So all aspects of our life, that word consistency applies. Number four, boost your vitamin C intake. And I know the best vitamin C that I know of is the Barbados berry. If you could get your hand on it, that would be, it has, I think, about 926 milligrams of vitamin C, more than an orange. Okay. So vitamin C is crucial for tissue repair and immune support. Many diets lack adequate vitamin C due to the processed food consumption. So instead of supplements, opt for natural sources such as guavas, chili peppers, sweet peppers, cantaloupe, lychee, papaya, and Arceola cherries, or better known as the Barbados cherries. For instance, the acerola cherries contain 825 milligrams of vitamin C per serving, compared to the 83 milligrams of found in oranges. Number five, practice oil pulling. And that loosens all the bacteria in your mouth. It makes your breath fresh, and also it's killing the bacteria. Okay, and that's something you can do by getting some organic coconut cold press, unrefined coconut oil mixed with some clove oil. Remember, cold clove oil kills bacteria also. So that's a double whammy. So your dental, so oil pulling is an ancient, I don't know how to say that word, Ayurvedic practice that helps reduce bacteria. It freshens your breath and it improves your oral health. And here's how to do it. Use a base oil like organic cold pressed coconut oil. Add a few drops of clove essential oil for the antibacterial properties. Then you swish the mixture in your mouth for 2 to 3 minutes. You spit it out in the trash can, not your sink to clog it, and you rinse your mouth. And that can follow by brushing your teeth in the morning and using of course, the tongue scraper to clean the tongue. So why some advocate for say that we could do it for 10 to 20 minutes of oil pulling, just 2 to 3 minutes daily can yield significant benefits. My final thoughts: your dental health is a cornerstone of our overall well-being. So neglecting your gums and teeth can lead to preventable issues that affect your entire body. By adopting these 5 steps, you can strengthen your overall health and safeguard your systemic health. Remember, your body is an interconnected system, and nurturing one part contributes to the health of the whole. So stay proactive, take care of yourself, and until next time, peace, blessings, and good health to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your listening ear. I hope this information will help us to take better care of our dental health and help us to, have a beautiful smile, most of all, and healthy teeth and healthy gums. So thanks again. This is Jacqueline Warner. Enjoy the rest of the webinar.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you ever so much, Queen Jacqueline Warner. Oh my goodness. Awesome. Awesome. That was just honestly awesome. Of course, we do have Queen Violet with her hand up. Go ahead, Queen Violet.
Of course, we have Queen Violet with her hand up. That's cute. Um, just want to let you know, I'm one of the ones that never looked after my teeth. I don't have any now, and it sucks. Anyway, the bacteria in your mouth lines up in a certain what's the word I'm looking for? In a certain pattern. That's the word. And when you floss, you upset that pattern. So it can't, when it's in that pattern, then it can go between your gum and everything and get to the rest of your body. But when you floss, you disturb that pattern. And it usually takes about 24 hours before that pattern aligns itself again. And if you're doing flossing every 24 hours, then you kind of take care of that part. The other thing is a lot of diseases, a lot of problems with the rest of your body comes through your gums because your mouth has got so many different bacterias and things. And when they get in past your gums and your teeth and they get into your bloodstream and all that, they go to the parts of the body that they want to affect. And it's amazing. There's uh, um, it come it comes through your mouth. You've got all kinds of diseases in your mouth, and the only reason they're not activating is because they need another, I don't know, germ or something to get it going. And that germ isn't in your mouth. But the cancer thing, maybe everybody has cancer in their body. It's what you eat and how you function that activates it. And I'll tell you, cancer lives on sugar. And it used to blow me away. I used to volunteer at the hospital in the cancer department. And after these people got their treatments, they look like death warmed over sometimes with all the chemicals they're pumping into their body and the radiation and all that stuff. And what they get at the end of their treatment is a can of pop. It's like, pardon me, or a coffee with a pile of sugar in. Anyway, and now that I know better, they would, well, they wouldn't want me in the cancer department because, and I listened, and some people, okay, Canada, or at least here, um, we have dental care and all that OHIP and whatever. But in the United States, you don't have any of that. And here, um, I heard of some people had to remortgage their house to get money to pay for the whatever it was they were getting. And there was one guy who was uh, he was supplying the cancer drug, and it cost him something like 250 $2.50 to make it, and he sold it for $1,500.
Wow.
And it's oh, like amazing. And now I studied cancer a little bit more, so I'd be they would not like me in the cancer section.
Wow.
I would be telling them, you're doing what? Why don't you just eat this? And I'm serious, the sugar is what, like when you look at it under a microscope, sugar comes down and cancer just flies to it and starts gobbling it up like crazy and growing. And it's amazing. Anyway, that's
Wow.
the end of 2 cents worth for now.
That's more like $2,000 worth. Wonderful.
You're
Thank you
sure
very
right.
much. Thank you very much, Queen Violet. And I'll send it over to First Lady Queen Dr. Benny. I know she has something and she will continue with the rest of the hands as the host. Go ahead, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny.
Thank you so much. Greetings. Are you guys excited? Man, when it comes to
Yes, we
health,
are.
oh
Yes.
goodness, oh my goodness. Um, First of all, I want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing all of us together this evening. A lot of people just left today, but we are still here and we are here for a reason. I want to thank him for bringing us. Thank you, King Dr. Derek, for this amazing platform. Queen JW, I would say extraordinary mindset. Why? Uh, I want to thank this, should I say, dental hygienist, uh, the dentist, because whatever they see in our mouth, I respect them. No, no, seriously. Well, the reason is because I went to the doctor myself, right? Before going, I had to brush my teeth. So they asked me, did you floss? I'm not lying. Flossing is very, very important. That's what they said. Tell the truth. No, the first time I didn't. Hold on now. Sometimes when you're saying something, it's because it's an experience that you have seen or it it has happened, right?
Yeah.
So the second time I was well prepared. Guess what? The real the doctor, right? He came and saw my teeth and said, it's looking good. Because
All
I
right.
tried. I tried. Like I said, I do respect the dentist or dental hygienist. Whatever thing that is coming into our mouth, our teeth, the type of food that we eat, and then we don't even brush it. We don't brush our teeth. Um, I have a friend who says that before you go to bed, please make sure you brush your teeth. Yes, we still have to brush our teeth in the morning. And I like what Queen Violet says, that sugar, that cancer,
That
I
one.
did not know that cancer loves sugar.
You're
Seriously.
good.
So it's making me now, I'm afraid now, Queen Kanla, I am afraid now that I should not be eating too much sugar, right? But Queen JW, I do not eat white sugar now.
Okay.
I have to, I'm confessing, but I'm not. I don't eat white sugar. So
Awesome. Very good.
thank you so much. You say something about the flossing that is very important. It get rid of what? Plaques that will
Yes, black.
collect around the teeth, between your teeth and the gum line, right? And it
Yes.
reduces the risk of cavities. It helps to prevent diseases. It reduces your breath, and then it may help with with your heart, the health of your heart, right? This
Yes.
one, please. Oh, I know that sometimes it's not really good to say it here, but before you kiss anybody, make sure they brush their teeth. Well, let me thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Queen.
All right.
Dr. Ben.
Thank you. So I know Queen Antoinette, Pastor Antoinette.
had her hand up.
Could you please proceed with your excitement or anything that you want to say about this our dental health? Thank you so much.
Excellent, excellent presentation,
Thank you.
Queen JW.
Thank
Um,
you.
I really enjoyed that and great information that's offered. The vitamin C, what type of vitamin C is the best that you were mentioning? And how do you spell that?
Oh, it's the Acerola. It's the Osceola cherries, or better known as the Barbados. Either one of those cherries, because of the contents or the amount of vitamin C that you get. And we need that amount of vitamin C just to start to kill the bacteria and help boost the immune system. So once the immune system is operating at a high, it's good or functional level, then that's where the healing takes place. And the vitamin C is the one that does that.
And
But if
so,
I mean, if you can't get hold of the Arceola cherry, you get a vitamin C that has that Barbados cherry in it.
okay. Also, how many, if it's the cherries, how many cherries do you have in a setting to get a sufficient amount of vitamin C?
Well, according, they said, I guess one cherry alone gives you 825 milligrams of vitamin C per serving.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you want to have 2 to 3 throughout the day, I mean, I don't think you will get an overdose of vitamin C,
Okay.
but it's good to research just in case, because too much of anything can cause harm too. But vitamin C it helps boost the immune system. And I think your immune system will be happy. If it had too much, it will say, okay, this is a little too much. It will give you some sort of reaction.
Yes, because your body expels whatever vitamin C it
Exactly.
doesn't need if you it's not possible to quote unquote overdose.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for your question and thank you for your participation.
All right. Thank you so much, Queen Pastor Antoinette, for your question. We appreciate you. Thank you for your dedication within this amazing webinar. Queen Violet, could you please unmute yourself and share your experience? Thank you.
Vitamin C is, you can't overdose on it. What you'll do is you pee it out. When your body has used up all it needs or whatever, you'll pee out the rest. And there are doctors that believe you could get something like 90 to 100,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and they inject it into your vein, and it goes around the body, and it fixes whatever it needs to fix. And you do this every day. It's a lot of vitamin C, and it has to be done through a doctor. And you can get healed if you take a lot of vitamin C. People take like 100. It's like, that's nothing. So I'm just saying, um, you can heal yourself with vitamin C. That's what I've heard. My 2 cents worth again.
That's good information, Queen Violet. We appreciate you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes. You nailed it, as Queen Kanla said. Queen JW, you nailed it.
Thank you.
Uh, Queen JW, I just want to mention, I want the whole world to hear me today. People don't understand why you are presenting health, health, health. They don't know the importance. I wish people were coming, attending webinars, just to know what we need to do to take care of ourselves. It is stated that
Yes.
prevention is better than cure, right?
Yes, indeed.
So by you coming to help us, you're preparing us now so that when on passive, when how do they say it? The apples, when the
Yes.
apples start flowing, now you'll be
Mm,
able to enjoy it. If you don't take good care of yourself now, health wise, I don't think you will enjoy that money.
no.
Those who now you make us to understand that it is not good to smoke, right?
Yep.
I do have a friend who I don't know what he was smoking. Can you believe that? After a month or two, anyway, after some years, I saw him. He looks older than his elder sister.
Oh.
Yeah, it is some Queen Kanla. Please, you don't want to know. That means the whole world. Please forgive me. I don't think you want to kiss that person. You just look at the mouth because of cigarette.
Oh.
I am telling you. I have a lady in my building here. She knows I don't like smokers. The worst is a woman smoking. All right. Although I don't like to see any man smoking, I don't want to see anybody smoking. But whenever she sees me, I just go that direction. So she knows.
Ah.
Oh, no, no, I don't play. Why are you smoking? Why? To ease your problem? Yeah. Well, as soon as you smoke, guess what? Tomorrow, the problem will still be there. So why are you smoking? Anyway, all right, Queen Violet, proceed. Guys, I need Queen Kanla to proceed, but go
Yeah,
ahead,
the
Queen
start.
Violet.
You just
Yeah,
incited Queen Violet again.
when
Go ahead.
when I see people smoking, um, I just tell them, and you complain about my garlic breath, right? Or my onion breath, or whatever. It's got to be better than your smoking breath.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Correct.
All right, thank you so much, Queen Violet, for your love and support. Uh, I just want to thank Queen JW. I really appreciate you. Time will
Problem.
come that I'm going to ask you for your closing remarks. But our next speaker for this evening, our presenter. You guys noticed that she was here last week, right? She keep asking questions upon question. I said, what? Why? Sometimes when I don't even want to see her because she keep asking too many questions. But anyway, when she asks these questions, she is trying to teach us. She want us to find out if are we knowledgeable into what she wants to talk about when it comes to conscious or unconscious mind, whatever. But anyway, this particular individual, our presenter for tonight, as you all know, she is someone. She is someone that wears multiple hats. She is a God-fearing woman as well. She is a God-fearing woman. And she is a go-getter. She is someone that within Dream Team, she will be a presenter. She will do mindset. She will even chat, monitor, and question and discussion team. That means if we don't have enough people, she will be there. And do you know, she is that type of person that works at like the human resource that they hire and they fire people. She is that woman. Sometimes I'm afraid of her, but she is a woman, a sister, a queen, sister of mine who is dedicated when it comes to unpassive. She does not play with unpassive. I wish people, have you guys ever seen this lady? I don't know. But I just want to say I love her, and God loves her more than I do, right? She is a God-fearing woman. Please, I don't want to say much about her. You guys already know who she is. My beautiful, gorgeous twin sister. Kanla! Proceed, my sister.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. I was beginning to think you're calling someone else other than me, my sister. Whew! That was a beautiful introduction. I am humbled. I am honored. And I am pleased. I am excited, as always, to be with you all. The Dream Team, the Deep Dive, ONPASSIVE. So I will continue on this journey because I want to be there right at the table, just like everyone, as we continue on this journey. So thank you so much. And in whichever form, like my queen sister, First Lady of ONPASSIVE has said, yes, I wear multiple hats because that is my passion. I want to learn. So thank you for joining this evening to listen to me one more time, for us to take this, our topic, unconscious bias, from another window, from another lens, and let us all have this conversation and see how it's going to help us individually, how it's going to help us as unperseverance, and how it can help us to get that awareness even in our lives outside of the unpassive family. So thank you once more for that introduction. I want to join Queen Benny to say today was a tragic day for us here in the United States. For those of you who may have seen it, there was a plane crash. And this was a plane crash with a military helicopter. And so every passenger in that plane is presumed dead at this time. So we are looking at about 60 something lives or more. We are still waiting. And so it's been a heartbreaking day. And only for that, when our First Lady says, every day we give thanks to God, because when you rise in the morning, you give Him praise and glory. But before you go to bed, you do not have control between what happens when you rise and when you go to bed. So today was just a reminder for many of us that it could have been you, it could have been me, it could have been your brother, it could have been your sister. So, but for those of us that God has decided to give us another opportunity, we pray for those who have lost their lives. We pray for their family, that may God grant them comfort. May God grant them the peace that they need, especially during this difficult moment. So if you don't mind with me, can we just bow our heads and have a moment of prayer silent for them? Amen. So thank you for joining me in adding our prayers, our thoughts and prayers to them and their families. So I want to say thank you to Queen JW. Oh my gosh, that was a wonderful presentation. I think Dr. Benny, First Lady, and others have contributed, and I just want to add a little more to that. And then we are going to use it and do a connection to a continuation of our unconscious bias. Because for those of you who were here, or for those of us who were here last week, we were able to make the connection between our health and some of the aspects that correlates with us taking some unconscious bias. I remember the very first presentation, we took a deep dive on culture, and then we also talked about weight bias. That was one of Dr. Benny's points, which she talked about. And I do recall last week, we also talked about family, we talked about love, and we reminded ourselves that, yes, our health is intricately linked to unconscious bias, because sometimes what we do, we do not seem to see, or we do not seem to realize that it is coming from. Okay, bear with me. I think I selected the wrong option. Sorry, just give me a minute. Let me go back to my slide. I'm going to stop sharing. It didn't present well on my end. And today is going to be short, but I hope everyone participates in it. Okay, bear with me. Current slide. Okay, Dr. Benny, please let me know what you see from your end. Do you see the presenter's view, or just the full slide?
I see
Presenter view.
presenter view.
Okay, all right. It's coming up now to. Okay. Do you see the full slide now, or the presenter view?
Got to go.
Awesome. Okay.
Present. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Yes. So, like I was saying, I'm going to make a great connection with how having a good health also correlates with some of the aspects of unconscious bias. We already know the definition of unconscious bias in our own ways, including the way it is defined in academia. We talked about that the last two slides, or the last two presentations. If anyone is here new and you would want me to go back all over, as we go ahead, you still get a brief understanding of what unconscious bias is. But if you want like a full definition of in whether English or academia, please feel free to visit any of the dictionaries so you can understand and do your own little research to get a full definition. But we know what it is, we know what it means, and we already know some of the types. And there are so many different types, which we discussed in detail during the first presentation. We took it one step further during the second presentation, that was last week. And the list continues. But for today, I want us to bring it all together, full circle, so that we are able to point at what is it that is the root of unconscious bias? We know the definition, we know the meaning, we know the types. We've actually discussed our shared experiences and backgrounds. How we unconsciously and consciously unaware that we even have these biases in us. But have you ever stopped for 1 second and asked yourself, where does it come from? Or ask yourself this question: the awareness to even understand, or the awareness to know, the awareness to identify that, oh, this possibly could be me just being biased without knowing it. Or this could just possibly be this person unconsciously being biased. They are not aware of it. You are not aware of it. But why is it so? Where is the root? Where does it come from? Where does it reside? Or how do you even know that it is there? Do you know that it is there? If you're joining us for the first time. But feel free to go back to the last presentations, the last two, and you get more insight. So, unconscious bias, also known as implicit bias. These are some of the things that we are unaware. They are hidden until you are exposed in a scenario or in a situation where you just see it coming out. Or you just feel yourself, you're acting impromptu, sudden, unconsciously. And yet, it is right there, just waiting for that small opportunity, just waiting for that event, that party, just waiting for that conversation, and it comes across. Just waiting for you when you get out of your comfort zone and you see it coming out. The fact that it is hidden, sometimes we fail to realize that it is there, yes, but they are hidden, they are unconscious, but they influence our decisions, our decision-making processes. Every day, every minute, wherever we are, at home, in school, at church, at work, in our business, everything. In the greater society, in the global world, it shapes every decision making that we do and the process. Sometimes it's just really automatic. Sometimes you just do it out of a sudden, nowhere. But those are some of the impressions, the different forms in which we see others through our own individual backgrounds and experiences, our culture, our diversity, and our societal conditioning. From where we hail from, what are some of the societal cultural norms? What are some of those things? Your belief systems, all of them together, they play a very pivotal role in shaping some of these biases in us. From when you are born to when you grow up and you become an adult, it is there. It doesn't go away. And so now that we are aware that as humans created in God's image, we are fallible, we have our weaknesses. Having bias is not wholly a wrong thing. But it is how you are able to navigate that bias, how you are able to identify, how you are able to acknowledge, how you are able to be aware that it exists in you and everybody. Be open to it, educate yourself about it. Different stereotypes in which it is expressed, everything. It has bias, unconscious, all surrounding it. And so, after reflecting and asking the question, where does it come from? How do we even get to identify it? Well, it comes from our brains, our human brains. Our human brains is the root of unconscious bias. Not in a negative way, not in a negative connotation, but that is how we are born. Because when we are born, the human brain from childhood, you are groomed, you are taught, you are educated. There are some of these things we grow to learn them. And how do we learn? How do we grow? Begin with the family unit, what you know, what you're taught to do and not to do, how to perceive the world, how to understand each other, how to love. All these good things in raising up a human being. The brain, the mighty, beautiful, powerful brain, that powerhouse, that is where everything resides. And the fact that it is there so much, that is from where we start making some of these decision processes. It helps you to be able to identify somebody, something, what you say, how you say it. And then sometimes you realize that some of these things that you perceive, perceptions, you assume it comes across as being biased. Now, despite the fact that we are only talking of unconscious bias, bias can also be good. But for the sake of the conversation of this, we want to dwell more on those that end up having a negative impact in humans. And that can go a long way to influence who you are or even change who you are and what you are. So let's take, for example, I talked about, and that is what we are going to discuss greater as we go ahead. Beauty bias, the societal stereotype of beauty bias. And we are going to see how this is going to correlate with our mindset for today. Our sister, Queen JW, talked about our dental hygiene, still connecting us back to how that is very important to our overall health being. And not only that, we are going to look at the science of the brain, but we are also going to look at a study that has been used to prove that the human brain carries bias. There are some aspects of the human brain that harbors bias, and that test is called implicit association test, done through the American Medical College. It is well documented For those who would like to learn more or understand more, you can go and Google and do your research, and you'll see what the study, what was the outcome of the study and what it shows. It was so fascinating to understand that. And so all of this, whatever we put in our brain, and that is why sometimes we say, what you feed your brain is what is going to come out. Our sister JW has been telling us, what you feed your body and your soul, that is how healthy you will be. Take care of your teeth, which was the mindset for today. Whether it's the flaws, whether it's you go to your doctor for, make sure you keep regular appointment, taking your vitamins, making sure you take good care of your tooth. Be mindful, be aware of the food that enters your body. Yes. If all that is good, then the outcome, the end result, the goal is you will be healthy. It leads to good health. Same too with our brains. What you feed your brain, what you read, what you expose yourself to, how far you can stretch your brain. That's powerful. Study that is in there. How it can be so great in helping us shape you, whether you have those unconscious bias, and to what degree, to what extent you can. Yes, the more you feed your brain with those life experiences, or you come from a background that harbors a lot of bias, then that is going to be a true reflection of what you're going to present. And then when you compare and contrast it with some other individual, or with some other groups, with some other cultures, or even with some other companies in our workplace, why is it that we have, between individuals, you will find one person who is open-minded, who is welcoming? Even when you remind them or you correct them with something, they are open and welcoming. But you meet another person and you want to point out about an aspect of a bias that you just observe, and what do? They snap immediately. They become defensive. Why? It goes back to your experiences, your background, and how your brain is wired. It has an impact on you. Look at businesses. Some businesses, you see that in the past, let me even use the current atmosphere that we have right now when we talk of diversity, inclusion, and equity. There will be businesses that are open, not only on paper, but they are actually applying diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because when you leave out a certain minority of people who come from a different background, who speak different languages, who went to school in different places, different all across other parts of the continent, away from here, for the sole reason that, oh, they are not as qualified as those who were educated here. Yes, in some cases it may be true, but statistics, data has found out that that is not always entirely true. And why? Because there is that stereotype, there is that societal stereotype that When you come from a different country, and particularly in America, guess what? You are not considered. You are presumed, or you are identified in some cases as you're coming like someone who does not speak English. And then you may find yourself going back to school to go and study English. And then it is stated that you are coming and you will be studying English as a second language. Guess what? But meanwhile, you studied in English, you even got your certifications all the way to college. And yet, when you get here, the societal stereotype is that you are coming from a different country. And so you need to do English as a second language. Or if you did the English, you have a test that you need to do, a test score for you to get up to a certain level. Why? In some cases, it is valid, but in some cases, it is biased. In our workplaces, you are judged and you are perceived because of your culture, how you speak, the language, that you may not qualify for a job. Last week, Queen Dr. Benny talked about the IT company, right? We have come to learn that the dominant culture or the dominant people who thrive better in that profession are from India. They are good at it. But does that mean any other person who is coming from a different diversity who does not qualify to do that job? And yet, the societal stereotype has been that, okay, they have to be there first and any other person comes second. I remember her example, and she was saying it is difficult for any other person to get a job there. That is just one example. Now, I'm not judging that this is good or bad, but I am just trying to expose some of the awareness that if the awareness of some of these societal stereotypes can be discussed openly to bring the awareness, you see that there will be many, many more of us out there that will be receptive, that will become educated, and will learn a lot out of that and make our homes, our jobs, our environment, and whatever we do a lot more better. And so we don't have to keep on because it actually skew your perception of somebody. Then you sometimes a tendency, you're quick to judge somebody without even knowing them. You don't give them the opportunity to even get to know you, but you already have passed down that perception because of that is how the human brain functions, that background, everything you have in it. And not only that, it skews that decision making, that process, but it clouds your thought process. And that is how the bias, the opinions, the judgments, and everything continue to linger in your brain. Yes. And so this example, which I added here, which was done by the American medical colleges, what they did was they looked at beauty bias and its impact, its effect on how physicians look at their patients. And this experiment or this study showed that it made some physicians to consider more attractive patients as healthier. Imagine that, and which is still something that is ongoing today. How many of us go for our doctor's appointment, right? When you're small body frame, you're looking good, then the quick understanding may be that, oh, you look healthy. Or even out there in our society, the assumption is that anyone who is small is more healthier compared to others that are less traditionally. And of course, when you're small, you're more attractive. But is it really always the case? But this is what this study proved. And I want to take it as an example for us to discuss beauty bias as it relates to our health. Queen JW told us about our dental health, right? How is our dental health associated with beauty? How is our overall health associated with beauty? Right? And then we look at some of the ways that we can engage, some of the different ways that we can try to bring more awareness to ourselves. Be advocate when you see unconscious bias from your brother, your sister in your environment. So some of the ways that we can actually go about it, this is not like all of the different ways, but just some example. We can be able to try to apply this study that was done. You can learn about it and you can see how it was done and you can apply it. But if you cannot, it is okay. There are more common ways that we can do by just be mindful of your language, be mindful of what you say, be mindful of how you say it. Because sometimes communication or language is not only what you say, sometimes it is what you say and how you say it. And that may be what can make it look like an unconscious bias. For example, we know that, which is common to all of us, between Caucasians and minority, or whether you are Black or you are from South America or you are from Asia, right? Monitor your language. We hear of hate speech. We hear of hate speech, for example, judging you and condemning you for just being who you are, for just being either Black or Haitian. The language you use. That is just an example. Or we hear of that, oh, African Americans are lazy. When you say that language, then you are buying into that narrative of unconscious bias that they are lazy. What effort have you done to look at that premise that African Americans are lazy? Is it true? And even if it may be true in some circumstances, what is the underlying reason why? Have you made the effort to talk to other people, ask, expose yourself around their environment to understand better, engage? Why that assumption that they are lazy? They don't want to work. Right? That's just an example. Now, we are not here to answer that question, but it's just exposing, bringing out the awareness of a language or a phrase that is used out there. Or let's even talk about the immigration, what is currently happening now for those of us who are in the US. We hear about illegal immigrants. We hear about undocumented immigrants. We hear about everything that is going on. All of us migrate from one place to another for all the thousands and hundreds of thousands of different reasons. But when you use that word, migrant, do you monitor your language to make sure that it doesn't come across as you being biased, you being judgmental in referencing the person you're talking about? Have you made the effort to connect or to learn from those who know better about that subject, to be aware? Are you open to feedback? Are you open to conversations? Are you open to when it is pointed out to you that, oh, yes, you may use this word, this language, but when you put it in this way, it comes across as being biased. Yes, you may not like immigrants coming here into America, but it is how you say it, the language, how it comes across, that determines whether you are genuine, it is genuine concerns, or you're trying to express unconscious bias. And that is shaped by your background, it's shaped by your experiences, because that is how your brain, that is how your brain is wired. That is who you are. And so every moment we come to that opportunity where we realize that, oh, it is coming across this way, we always try to promote awareness. And there are even some training programs out there for some companies, some businesses. And right now with technology, there is a lot of information out there. We can, challenge ourselves to self-educate ourselves about some of these unconscious bias, these hidden biases that are in us. Educate yourself. Encourage open feedback from others. Participate in structured processes, whether it's an interview, whether it's a survey, or structured if it is at your workplace. When trainings, conversations are taking place about subject like this, diversity, inclusion, equity, get engaged, because that is where you know. That is how I got to learn all of this. Because I am certified in allyship. I have a certification in these topics. But if I had not gone, and if I did not have the open mind to learn all of these things, diversity, inclusion, equity, I would not have come across to understand better how to approach this topic of unconscious bias. And this is something that is going to be with us every day and everywhere we go. So at the end of the day, the goal is for us to always aim, educate ourselves, and be more prepared, more ready to either mitigate some of the biased decisions we make, be more open, listen, and help others around us. And so at this time, I would like to open up that is the next slide now just leads us to some of the specific words when we talk about bias that you can think of if it comes to mind. You can see behavior, beliefs, tendency, information. So this is like a memory jogger when you see some of these words. Yep. So it's just to help you see how all of this you can find bias. And so while leaving this on the screen, we will go now to the activity of sharing our life experiences. Now, I want us to do it just like I said, linking beauty, bias with our theme, our mental health for today. Our dental health and our overall health. I know from what Dr. Benny said, when you go to your dentist, you are given strict instructions. Make sure you use floss to clean your teeth and do the rightful thing before you get there. And when we look at beauty overall, whether you're looking at men, women, it doesn't matter. It's not about the gender, it's not about the race, it's not about the culture, but beauty in itself and how some biases have been assumed or have been levied to it. Teeth. How many times do they tell you if you don't have good teeth, then you are not beautiful? If your teeth is not white, you are not beautiful. If you don't visit your dentist, it is a concern for some people. It's not part of being beautiful. But again, education, awareness. Is it 100% correct? No. Because that beauty standard here in America and Europe and some other progress society, beauty standard involves all of that, right? Where you have all the healthcare system that is ready and provides those services. Yes, it becomes their standard and they have accepted it. But move away from that beauty standard to other countries, other areas, other continents. Beauty, they don't have those things available. They don't have the resources. But yet, does that mean their beauty should still be compared and evaluated at the same standard, the same level, like beauty standards in a society like the US or any advanced society? In my opinion, I would say no. And both be looked from the same lens, and still, if you look through and through, can you still find that beauty in each of these places? And you understand, you respect, you love that beauty, whether with yellow teeth or whether with brown teeth or whether with no teeth or whether with clean white teeth or whether with crowns that have been put in there. Your overall hygiene, it is about your overall health, your overall hygiene. Are you keeping a good dental hygiene? That should be the goal. And if it is yes, then it is yes. Then that is beauty. That should be the standard of beauty, the universal standard of beauty. If we all can agree about that, because some of us here, you have all many different types of what we use for toothpaste that we use, and including other liquids that we can use, right? In addition to the floss that we use, in addition to going to the doctors, all these resources, we have them. So it's easy for us to meet up with that standard of beauty. But you don't have a lot of these resources in other places. And so they make use of their own resources that they have. And that is their own standard of beauty. I will take Dr. Benny's example of weight, the standard of beauty for weight. The standard of beauty for weight here is slim body frame, beautiful. Yes. Is that the same in other places? No. But is it the same for everyone? No. Why is it different? Because we are all human beings. We are different. We are unique. But that standard of beauty is shaped by our backgrounds, is shaped by our experiences. One person's beauty will be someone who is slim, body frame, young. Another person's beauty will not be the same. Can be someone who is older, dark. That is their standard of beauty. Your background, your brain, your experiences shapes what you define as beauty. And in some cases, if we are not aware, we may have that tendency of assuming and seeing someone else and making presumptions or conclusions or assumptions that come across as being biased because you do not see them the way that you define or you characterize what beauty is. And so, yeah, that is, for me, those will be the two examples. I would like to give the room to any other affiliate. Please share your example, maybe one or two. And once we do that, that is the end of the presentation for today. And please do not hesitate. I would like to hear from you because this is very important and a very good conversation for us to be having on a daily basis and be open to it. All right, Queen Dr. Benny, let's open the chat for shared experiences about beauty bias.
All right, my brothers and sisters, you guys know when it comes to beauty, sometimes if you're not pretty, you cannot get a job. Certain types of job, you cannot. I know that. You know, I wanted to go for modeling. And they told me that I am too short. You see? So what do you think? King Carlton, they told me that I'm too short. So, all right. All right. Does anyone have any question, please? By the way, I want to take this special moment to thank Queen Kanla. I want to really thank you when it comes to this, your presentation about unconscious bias, which is what? It is in, well, I believe in a workplace, right? Is your unconscious bias in a workplace or anywhere else? Queen Kanla, is it at the workplace, right? All right.
Workplace, oh no, it workplace as well as in our daily lives. It applies to our lives.
Okay. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you. First of all, I want to thank God for bringing you here this evening. When it comes to this bias, the bias is really happening everywhere, everywhere. So I believe, let me find out who has a question. I believe Queen JW have something to say while I'm looking for another person.
Amazing presentation, Queen Kanla. That was right on point because bias, conscious or unconscious, we face it every day of our lives, either in our workplace, even in our homes, amongst our family and friends. So it's an ongoing thing, and you're right. We need to learn how to deal with it.
Yes.
I remember growing up, I never knew anything about racism because it wasn't something that was practiced in our home or they spoke about. And maybe it existed amongst them, but they never talk about it. So I never knew about it. But when I got to the United States, I was like, I had to face it. Like you said, I was teased because the way I spoke, the way I dressed, and all different aspect. Even as I grew older, you go for jobs, um, you don't have enough experience. They send you back and forth, and it was just ongoing. Or they'll call you, oh, I have a gal in my office. And and like you said, you don't know how to handle these things. So you're just sitting there. You don't know how to respond, or should you respond? What should you say? And a lot of these things by us, we tend to keep them, and then they become part of our brain, like you said. Then they launch there, and then sometimes someone might say something, and you might react for the action that you didn't take before, and now you let it out because maybe you're disgusted of hearing it, or you feel like it's too much, it's overwhelming. So it's good that you brought that topic to us because it'll help us to understand it. It'll help us to learn how to deal with it on a professional level, that we will not be angry or become hateful because of someone else bias. So that was very important. Very important. I remember, like I said, I knew nothing about racism, but when I got to America, I learned all this, and I always would tell people, "Well, I never knew anything like that before," because my grandmother always had a picture of Kennedy and Martin Luther King in that house, so I didn't think anything racism was, But when I got to America, I really saw it, and I really was like, I was um I was kind of sorry, or it hurt me to know people were treated that way because I knew nothing of it. No one never told me. I wasn't prepared for it. So I face a lot of bias in America, but I just accepted it, and because that's the way I figured the world was. That's the way they reacted to us. And I just accepted it. But I know I don't have to accept it, but I just have to learn how to deal with it. So thank you so much. I appreciate you very much.
Great. You nailed it. Exactly. I mean, it will be there. You summed it up beautifully. It will be there. It always become a cultural shock, or even sometimes you tend to think that you already are aware of many of the biases. And then the next minute or one day, all you need to do is once you change the environment, then you are exposed to a total new culture. to a total
Yep.
new society stereotype, and then you see another new bias just thrown at you out of nowhere. But what will help you be ready is if you already know and understand what is unconscious bias, because it's a reflection of the person who is expressing the bias. It is not you.
Exactly.
And then what we don't want to do, like you said, is to react immediately, automatic, spontaneously. No, you don't want to, because they express the bias because of their background, their
Yep.
society, what they know, what they have been taught about other cultures, other society. And so when they see these things, then it is expressed as bias towards what they don't align with, what they don't recognize, because that is not them.
Yep.
And so it always usually helps you to, when you identify, then you have a more better control of what to do, how to navigate it, and then it doesn't lead to a situation where, I mean, it becomes confrontational, or you go home and you are so sick and tired, or you are like, oh, okay, I can't believe this is happening to me. But hey, it strengthens you. And the
Yep.
next time you say it, you say, oh, this is what it means. So you need to be ready. But hey, it is not about you. So thank you for that feedback.
No
Beautiful.
problem. Thank you so, Queen Kanla.
Yeah. I mean, let me in just to add one other thing. You talked about when we switch jobs, they tell you are not qualified. Again, like you, when we come, or let me use myself as an example. When I came and I started looking for jobs, guess what? The first thing I was told is that I do not have experience. Okay, guess what? We come from countries where we only do volunteering. It is not added on our resumes like it is structured. It's not a structured system where everything you do adds up and is considered as part of your experience. So to us, we do it for love of community, helping one another. But here it is something really structured that goes and plays a very important role into where you work, and if your employer is going to consider that as part of valid experience to you. So when you don't have it, you don't get the job. And so the conclusion is that you don't have any work experience. And so you are now either hired at a very low category, or at a very low job that you are going to outperform where you are. And then it is only after you've been hired in that position and then they realize that you are doing way better than even 2-3 layers or three groups above you, then they start looking at your performance and then realize that, oh, it was just because the system do not identify you at the same level when you come from somewhere here. It is a system. It is a societal structure. It is not you. Same thing, I use the example of education, right? When you come here, your education here means nothing. It is the society. It is a stereotype. The structure tells you your education means nothing. But then when you sit in the classroom and you're studying, you realize that your knowledge, your comprehension, your capability, your ability, and even your speed of going through things is 3 times higher and better than those that are here that are considered way higher than you. So that is expressed in the form of unconscious bias because they are not in your country where you educated. They are not there to see and know what your educational curriculum is. They don't know what you're bringing to the table, but they can only go based off of what they know. But then it comes across because then at the end, it is biased because it doesn't place you at the right place where you were supposed to be, and that impacts you. But when you understand, then you figure out, okay, this is what it is. There are ways and there are other organizations that can fix this or that can work with you to get you to where you are. And then you continue now, you start looking for ways to make it right and go where you need to go. But guess what? If you were not aware and if you don't know that that would be your next step, what you need to do, then the tendency is you may just give up or you say, oh, okay, so this is it. All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Queen Kanla.
Oh,
Amazing.
this is awesome. I know you talk about that root of unconsciousness, right?
Yes.
Bias, which I believe it does develop and maintain. It maintained from experience of culture
Yes.
and processing of information from external sources. With that, your beauty bias. You know, I have noticed that when you go to like Hollywood, because I stated from the beginning that I wanted to be a model. Now they expect me, as petite as I am, I must have what? I think my size, it should be what, 5'7" or something? I mean the height. How can I have that
Trust
height?
me, I don't know the height for models right now. Maybe someone can tell us in the chat.
It's okay. It's 5'7". It's 5'7" for petite.
Okay.
Petite model, yeah. And then plus size is 12 to 22.
Correct.
That means so, I'm happy that I hope, because we do have big, so they cannot just choose only petite. We have people who have been eating a lot of hamburgers, right? So that is Remember, I told you guys once that when you go to McDonald's, so people will buy a lot of bread and chicken, whatever, and they end up buying what? Diet Coke. Now, how do you expect it to work if you want to really lose weight? Right? I mean, I know there's a hell of discrimination, not only in this country, but all over the globe. As you stated, when Kanla, when foreigners live in their foreign countries, coming to United States, if you are a medical doctor in Cameroon, I am so sorry. Coming to America, you must. If you don't pass the exams, I am sorry. You will not practice. And a lot of our people failed. Instead of them being a medical doctor, they are working as a nursing assistant. I am talking from experience because I've seen it myself. They work so hard. Now, lawyers in Cameroon, if you're not strong enough, you have to come here and go back to school. If you don't go back to school in America, you will not practice law in America. I am sorry. So, as I'm talking, I believe Dr. Derek is recording me. Let people understand all the foreigners coming to United States, having all your degrees. I feel sorry for you. I'm saying it because I've been here for 30 something years and I know what I'm talking about. You have to follow the law here.
Yes.
Rules and regulation, policies and procedures. Just like when you join ONPASSIVE, we do have policies and procedures that we have to follow. And if you don't, you are out. In America, we have to follow the procedures. So I just want to thank you, Queen Kanla. I mean, you talk about what to operate outside of the unconscious control, right? Often
Yes.
contradict our explicit health belief. Then you
Yes.
talk about meaning, which they are really automatic, instantaneous impression, and we found about others that often based upon all the different types of biases that exist. You talk about the types that the various form. It is like you talk about the beauty, the society, the stereotype. Oh yeah, it is happening. And then you say something about the brain, that the human brain is the root of unconscious bias, implicit association. Ah, are you kidding me? I hope next week you bring another topic, right? But this bias is important because it is really happening. I see, like I stated before, that this girl, her name is White. Let me say White Josephine. Her last name. So when she went to the interview, a lot of the people were waiting. They were excited to see Mrs. White. But immediately she came in and they saw her appearance. Chai! They said that there is no more job. Just because she was black. Queen Kamla,
Yeah.
that woman did not get a job.
Mm-hmm.
It is not fair. So most of the time, I keep telling people, God created all of us in his image. If you cut your hand, black, Chinese, green, when you cut your hand, the type of blood that comes out is what? It's red.
Right.
Whether you are black, white, green, yellow. So why are you discriminating? It does not make sense because you and I will still go down the graveyard. I was thinking, let me not talk about this online. Yes, let me not talk about it. Okay, I just want to really thank you so much for this topic. And we pray that when you come back again, hopefully I know you have a lot of topics.
I
Maybe
do.
the next will be
So much so that it's like I don't even know which one to pick up again.
just bring something. I mean, you were presenting it at a dream team. So bring all those topics here, please. We need you, especially, I mean, Queen JW with your health stuff and Dr. Doris. No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So, does anyone have any question again? If not, I am going to ask my presenters for their closing remarks. Let me, 1 second, please. Let me just check the chat. Dr. Tunesha says, good presentation. Thank you all for being authentic. Aha. Queen Dr.
Thank
Pat.
you, Dr. T. Appreciate it.
Queen Dr. Pat says, excellent presentation. She loves you all. Queen Antoinette says, excellent presentation and information. Queen JW, thank you so much. All right.
Thank
All
you,
right.
everyone.
Queen JW, could you please give us your closing remarks? Unmute yourself, please.
Thank you so much, Queen Dr. Benny, the First Lady of ONPASSIVE, and thank you so much, Queen Kanla, for that amazing presentation. Thank you to all the brand ambassadors / affiliates, and thank you to Dr. Derek, King Dr. Derek, for this amazing platform. Maybe we don't realize how much dental health affects the rest of our body. But tonight we were educated, or we gained knowledge that help us to understand how important it is to take care of our oral hygiene. But not more important than that is what we put in our mouth and what we do after we put in our mouth, and the things that we put in our mouth. It's telling us already to stay away from sugar. And not that you have to don't eat sugar, but make sure you know the amount of sugar that you're supposed to have daily. And at least you will be in a safe place. You know, I think for men, I'm not sure if it's 9 grams, and for lady is 6 grams. I talk about that so many webinars ago. But and 3 grams, I think 3 teaspoons equal 1 gram. So you will know how to go about how much sugar you intake. And if you pass that amount, if you get to that amount, 6 grams of sugar for the day, don't do anymore. We do have guidelines. You know, there's guidelines, just like the Bible. It's a manual. It gives us instruction how we should live, what we should eat, what we should do, how we should handle things. And so everything in life has a manual. It's just that we've been doing things any kind of way. You know, we lean on our own understanding. We're not following the protocol. And so we end up in these situations where it wreaks havoc on our health. And just to think, just from our mouth alone can cause cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, strokes. I have a cousin that had 5 strokes. Thank God she's functional. You know, she had to learn to speak again and so forth. And it could have come from her mouth. Because they're not going to, when you go to the doctor, they're not going to per se, oh, that came from your mouth, or you didn't floss good, or you didn't do this. No. Remember, they don't get to the root of the problem. They just mask everything. So they don't tell you, they tell you indirectly. So that's more reason we have to become our best health advocate. We have to take care of our bodies just as much as we got to take care of our mouths. It means a whole lot. It's not only your smile, you know, but how your breath smells, you know, how your teeth look. Even though it might fall under unconscious bias, but it's reality. You know, here in St. Martin, a lot of the females and men, the females and the ladies, the females and the males have a lot of mouth issues. It looked like a broken castle with a lot of windows, you know. And it's not, I think it's poor dental health, and maybe a lot of them can't afford to go to the dentist. And you see that a lot in Asian people too. Their teeth. I'm not sure if it's their diet or what, but your oral health is very important to your overall health. So let's take care of it. Let's do our best to floss, get the the water pricks. It has more power to flush or like you said, like a car wash, or what you call those other things? Um, you clean the roof and stuff. I forgot what you call them, but it has power to flush out the bacteria and the plaque that is in between our teeth. And this helps you when you go to your dentist, like Dr. Benny said, when she visit her dentist, he could see already that she takes care of her teeth. He doesn't really have much work to do, to tell you the truth, and she don't have much to worry about. Dental is very expensive. It's more than a mortgage. I remember when I went for a dental consultation, and when he told me the price, I say, "Sir, that is a mortgage." So that's more reason for us to take care of our teeth, because dentures doesn't look good. People put their dentures in. When they go to the restaurant, they have to take their dentures out just to enjoy their food. So you don't want to get there where you have to wear dentures, because that's another madness by itself. You won't know it till you get there, and you don't want to get there. So let's take care of our overall oral health, so we can have a beautiful smile, and we can have a healthy gums. Nothing looks better than a beautiful pair of teeth, no matter if they're yellow, green, as long as you have a full set of teeth instead of missing tooth all over the place, If the back ones are missing, you could get away with it, but when the front is missing, it don't look too good. And the dentures doesn't make you look good, but when you take them out, you won't like what you see. So let's take care of our oral health, or oral hygiene. So I appreciate each and every one of you, and take care and have a beautiful and blessed evening. Enjoy the rest of the webinar.
Thank you so much for your remarkable closing remarks. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your time and your love within this our extraordinary company.
Thank you so much, Queen Dr. Benny. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Our presenter for tonight, could you please give us your closing remark? Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Dr. Benny. And my closing remark will be just to talk a little more close with the third or another aspect of understanding where unconscious bias comes from. Yes, it was in the slide, but I did not dwell a lot more on it. And that will be the aspect of the role of social psychology. Now, when we talk of the role of social psychology, how you can, or what it means when we talk of unconscious bias. The role of social psychology simply tells us or explore some of the social behaviors, the beliefs, some of the conformity tendencies that we all have as individuals, as groups, to match other groups or to compare with other groups or other individuals. And in most cases, you do that and then you disregard your own perspective or your own intuition. So this is where we can say we see so many things play, or so many things in play, or so many things go into effect where you have an unfavorable general impression about somebody, right? And then because your group of friends or the society tells you otherwise, you disregard what you know or what you have seen or what you have internalized, what your brain has recorded, and you decide you disregard what you know, you disregard what your intuition or your perception, and you decide to go with what the other group or the other individual or the society wants you to go with. Whether we are talking about belief, behavior, character, abilities. For example, in today's world, the society will tell you and me that women are not supposed to get into the workforce, into certain jobs, into certain categories, or even at certain levels. But your opinion, your belief, your ability, your character, as a woman, you know that you can do that job. You know that you are capable of doing it. Not only capable, but you qualify to do it. But guess what? Because you have been told, or we have been told, that we cannot get that job. We cannot do that job. So what do? We decide and we accept it. That is just one example of how social psychology can impact unconscious bias in us. We can also use this in many different examples between our children, why we favor the boy child and the girl child. We can also look at, in some cases, where we disregard an example of where the job place, our environment, our culture, again, who really you are, your identity. We know we want to maintain our identity as an African, or whatever your culture is. We love our African gaps. We love being who we are. We love our complexion. We love our dark skin, our melanin. It is part of who we are, and we are proud of it. But guess what? Social psychology expresses itself in some cases where you see a fellow person of minority or underserved community or people of color who have experienced that judgment, who have experienced so much of the other society telling them that they are not worth it, telling them that, oh no, your color, your dressing, your diversity is nothing. And so what do? They abandon their identity. They run away from their identity, and they start identifying with the other because that is how they want to be perceived. That is, again, another way in which our brains can be able to unconsciously bring out some of the biases that are hidden in us. And when we understand, when we identify, and we can be able to open up, have conversations about it. Because it's only when you have conversations about it, then you can learn better. Don't keep it inside. Ask questions where you need to ask questions. And that is going to be the best way that we are going to be able to navigate through some of or the unconscious biases that are inherent in us as humans. So thank you all for listening to me today. I am always humbled and honored to work with you all. Back to you, moderator. Thank you, Dr. Derek, for the opportunity to present. I mean, it's really been wonderful that I have had the opportunity to do it with your platform for the 3 sessions now. Thank you. I am grateful. Over to you, Queen Dr. Benny.
Thank you. I really appreciate you, Queen Kanla. Thank you for your closing remarks. King Dr. Derek, are you available, please?
Welcome, Queen Kanla. Yes, I am at all times.
Close, turn off the YouTube, please.
Oh,
So
okay.
that
All right.
I
Wonderful.
just want Queen
All
Dr.
right.
Nadu.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner, and of course, Queen Kanla Rahel. Awesome, awesome, awesome presentation. I think I'm going to need to um to take good care of my teeth. Amen. So I really do appreciate. And for those on the varied YouTube social media platform, we thank you very much for showing up and watching live. If you will be watching in the future, we do hope that you find this wonderful topics appealing to you. Oh, mercy, my video. Appealing to you because it has been wonderful, wonderful. If Queen Kanla have more of these, oh my goodness. Because I did not know that there is, I mean, everybody know that there are biases, but in the way that it has been brought out, it has been awesome for these past few weeks. It has been awesome. So we just want to thank Queen Kanla. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. Thank you all for watching. Thank you very much, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, for being the host with the most smile, the most beauty, the most dark shaders, the host with the most. Really appreciate you, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny. Thank you very much for stepping to the plate. Thank you, King Carlton and Queen Lily Lane, and all our queens and kings in the house, and those who are on the varied youth social media platforms. All right, so we are going to step in another direction, which is our after party with, of course, Queen Dr. Nadu, just for you, and King Bishop Harold. All right. So, therefore, without any further ado, we just want to let you remember that at the close of this week, um, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, we do have the twin Evans, Queen Dr. Yvonne and Queen Yvonne Finn, wrapping it up for the in-week um, webinar, which is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then come Sunday, that is this Sunday coming, next Sunday coming, which will be into the best month of the year, which is February, starting on the second. Well, this first start on Saturday. The second, which is the first Sunday of the year, it definitely will be Dream Team with the Queen Doctor Patient team, and that will start at 12:45 Eastern Standard Time. And Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's Queen Miriam Edwards with Mindset Monday. And then Tuesday and Thursday, of course, it will be Deep Dive Globally Changing Lives. And so we do thank you for spending another month, another week with Deep Dive. Really appreciate, really do appreciate. And so without any further ado, YouTube, we do thank you for joining us, and we do thank you for being with us and sharing with us, whether you are live or otherwise. And so as we shut down the social media platform, we are going to be in the house here with the after party with Queen Dr. Nadu and, of course, Bishop Harold. And so thank you very much for joining us on the social media platform. Take care and have a wonderful weekend.